Hi everyone. Tonight's episode of the Jiggy's Geek Speak Podcast is brought to you by the letter D. According to Rick Sanchez, that's dip-ass because we don't want people being dip-asses and spoiling a lot of geeky stuff for all of us fans. Anyway, that's the topic we wanted to discuss with everyone tonight. So, joining me in this podcast is Mr. John Amor. Hey, John.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening to you. And basically, John messaged me earlier and he was sort of pissed off that he got spoiled by on Facebook by someone. But it's not just that, John. You also asked me before why I didn't watch Game of Thrones. And that's specifically why I don't watch it. Because like every Monday, whether it's morning or afternoon, there are all these people just posting spoilers online.
That's right. And I don't understand that. It's like, I get that they enjoyed the show. There's no point in letting other people know how you felt about it. I mean, it's not like they're all reviewers, right?
Yeah, they're not all reviewers at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people say it's sports, but you know what? Sports is different. Sports is live. Sports, people share it. People are excited whether a team lost or a team won. People do that. But with regard to TV shows or movies or even comic books or whatever, fandom, you just can't share it because you take the joy out of like I have to say the holy S moments. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part I hate when people spoil us fans. And I guess I wanted to ask you, when is it okay to start talking about it? Like what guidelines would you say?
Sure. Generally, there's a 1 week moratorium on most of that stuff. Like, just avoid even broaching the subject or even like saying what doesn't happen, because saying what doesn't happen is a spoiler in itself. Also,
that's true.
It really only takes a little bit of consideration, right? You just need to take note that you're not the only one who enjoys this TV show or movie. So, a part of the fun of enjoying said TV shows or movies is discussing them with friends. I recognize that, but you don't want to spoil their experience either. I mean, that's the whole reason why it's called a spoiler, is because it ruins the experience for other people. And you mentioned sports. I feel like it doesn't apply to sports as much.
It does not, yeah.
Because there isn't really a narrative in sports, unless we're talking about wrestling, I guess.
Okay, that's different. Yes, you can't spoil wrestling because there's a narrative involved. You're following a soap opera. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's a comic book or a TV show or a movie, there's a sequence of events that take a toll on characters we care about. And there are consequences to certain actions, actions that occurred in the past affecting events in the future. And when, I'm just defining the terms here, when people spoil, it's like none of that matters anymore. The hard work of the writers or the actors or the artists, none of that matters, because the point of reading the book has been ruined. You want to experience that for yourself, but suddenly this has been stolen from you by a careless comment. And that always pisses me off.
But there are other times, okay, I can forgive those who didn't mean it. But there are some people online, like I have friends who spoil my other friends with Game of Thrones. And I found it very douchey. It was really, really douchey.
Sure.
I saw people unfriending one another in the comment section. I don't get it.
Well, it all depends on how passionate you are about the story, right? And sure, there are some, let's call it disproportionate reactions to most of these things, but also, I mean, how simple is it to just be considerate? You know,
Yep.
if these people are ruining something as trivial as a story, what's the worst they could do? You know, they're probably, you know, I'm not saying they're evil people. I'm just saying that this is personal for me because I'm a creator, as you know, and if somebody doesn't respect storytelling or doesn't respect storytelling in media, that's sort of an affront to my profession. I sort of see it that way. That might be a little too what do we call it? I might be taking too much ownership of stories in general, but I just, that's how I see it.
I think I saw one of your posts regarding this topic. Yeah, exactly what you said. I wanted to ask you, what was the worst spoiler you've ever received?
Okay.
Or chanced upon?
Let's do this then. I'm gonna name one, and then you name one. We'll take turns.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if it was the worst. I've had several things spoiled for me in my time as a nerd. One for sure was Han Solo dying in Episode 7.
No
that
way,
was spoiled
man.
for me.
Who spoiled it?
Yep. Somebody on Facebook who I am still contacts with, but I don't follow him anymore.
Wow.
Posted a screenshot of the precise moment that what's his name?
Han.
Kylo. The precise moment that Kylo plunged the lightsaber into Han's chest.
Okay.
And I think he got that screenshot, very obviously, from a cam rip.
Yeah.
Of the movie, and he posted that exact moment.
And you haven't seen... Was this a week? Was it the day of the premiere of Force Awakens? Was it...
This was the day of the day that I was supposed to go see it. I was supposed to go see it that evening, and then this post went online at like 3 in the afternoon. It's pretty terrible.
That's horrible. Actually, I saw Force Awakens maybe 3 weeks before it premiered. Don't ask me how I did it, but I couldn't talk to anyone. Anyone. Like, I have a friend who knew that I watched the movie already. And he was asking me, how the hell did you watch The Force Awakens? I said, the Force is strong in my family. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I couldn't talk to anyone about it. But I was remembering all those guys who spoiled me. And I wanted to say, you know what? Han Solo freaking dies in the movie. But I wanted to be considerate. I felt that they might use it against other people, so I chose to be quiet.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a responsible thing to do.
But
your turn.
I watch all these movies on the day itself for the specific fact or the reason that I want to avoid all these dip-ass people spoiling everyone online. So the spoiler I remember now is because of my brother. It was the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I didn't know. He was following the story all year. So I go to his room, nighttime, and I say, nanalo pala si Roman Reigns. Tapos he goes, putik, ganyan. Hinihintay ko pa yan eh. I'm gonna watch just now. Why did you tell me? So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So the following year, I was at work. He texts me, okay, nanalo si Triple H. Like, okay, great. I was avoiding it, and I just said, touche. And then that was it. No more spoiling.
Oh, at least he was, what's the word for it? Repentant about it.
he just wanted to get even.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Any TV shows that you follow? Have you been spoiled regarding a TV show?
I followed Kamen Rider X-Aid, and I was how many? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna call him out. I will call him out, and he knows about this. Earl Manga, Haram Burl. We're okay. We're good. But so he posted the last page of Spider-Man Clone Conspiracy. I think it was episode
issue
3.
4.
Maybe issue 3, wherein the Jackal reveals who he is. So
right.
it was. I just glanced upon it, and I saw it was kind of Jim Chong's art. So I didn't know what it was, but at the back of my head, I knew that it was from Clone Conspiracy. So when I was reading the issue, I said, ang galing itong issue nito. I was loving it, and then towards the end, I kind of predicted it already. So I was spoiled. Ah, man, I kind of know who it is already because of that.
See,
page.
that's what I mean. That's the worst, right? Because it's like they're giving you a piece of the puzzle before the writer of the comic gives it to you.
Exactly. So just keep quiet. You don't have to. Because some people defend themselves. Oh, but I didn't really say the spoiler. But by not saying the spoiler, you're actually spoiling us already.
Now, I don't mean to be an asshole here, but do you notice that the people who are usually careless about spoiling, they are not... I'm definitely going to sound like an asshole here, but they are not necessarily the kinds of guys who make stories.
Yep. Correct.
You notice that?
Yeah. You're right.
I'm not trying to be exclusive here, but like...
I would
just
say
that
these people are papansin, like they just need attention and stuff like that. That's my take. That's my opinion.
They're just primarily consumers.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That's that's your calling. Not everybody is supposed to be an artist or a writer. But I just noticed that specifically only consumers like to spoil. And I don't know if it's there's a sort of consumer culture where they want to brag about the fact that they did this, they achieved this, they've seen this, and they want other people to know. And I guess the loudest way to do that is to spoil.
But here's my take. We follow the stories we love. We follow these characters because we want to escape from the real world. We want to forget about the problems that we have day to day and all that. And sometimes our only way to cope with these problems is to go to the stories, to read comic books, to watch TV series and watch movies and all that, just to be happy. And then you have people spoiling that one thing that just makes you happy. You know what I mean? It sucks.
Yeah. And they're robbing you of that experience.
Yeah. And I've called several people. I messaged them personally saying, this is not cool. And most of them were pretty sorry. But some were still defending themselves. Oh, I didn't really spoil, blah, blah, blah. And
what's the most common defense that they use?
I did say spoiler alert. Yes, but the spoiler alert came after the picture. You know what I mean?
Did they really do that?
Yeah, so
jeez.
Unfollow. Not naman unfriend, but it's mostly unfollow. Yeah. Those are the types of people
what is that you mentioned? Spider-Man?
Yes, it was Spider-Man Clone Conspiracy. So I was spoiled that, I'm going to spoiler alert, that Ben Reilly was the Jackal. which was the pivotal turning point of the story.
Sure.
Yeah. But I think the world-renowned spoiler would have to be Rich Johnston of Bleeding Cool. I don't know how he gets his information, but he really gets a lot of spoilers. He has his network. Even Marvel and DC are just astounded by the fact that, you know, these things get out, and he's the one who gets it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he gets advanced review copies, or is it not? Is it even crazier than that?
The rumor is that he hires all these bartenders where the Marvel and DC editors hang out in, and he tips them to listen in and have notes and all that stuff, and then they feed Rich with stories, and they're pretty accurate. He knows where the writers and editors hang out.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
So your craziest comic spoiler lately was Spider-Man related.
Yeah, that was the one.
Mine would have to be Invincible related. Do you read that book?
I stopped it when his dad was the bad guy.
That's like the first arc, dude.
Yeah, I have until hardcover book 3, I think, and then I just kind of stopped. Yeah.
So you haven't read all those hardcovers yet, then?
No, I haven't.
If you stopped at the dad.
Yeah.
It's great. It gets great.
Is it better now? Is it about to end?
It's about to end. It's amazing around like issue 70 something. And if you have the 3 hardcovers, I think you'll get around to the point where it gets amazing. It's for sure one of my favorite books.
Okay. So you're a Mark Grayson fan.
And I mean, you love Spider-Man. You'd probably love Invincible.
Oh yeah, I love Invincible. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes when I'm too invested in a character, and you know some people turned out to be bad, and I just lose faith in the story, and I just get emotional. If you know what I mean.
Well, I'm not going to spoil, but I will say continue reading because your investment will pay off.
Really?
That's all I'll say.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna share something about Invincible. I'm gonna try very carefully not to spoil you. But the thing with that book is that it's got amazing art. It's Ryan Otley.
Yes.
Who is like a cross between Stuart Immonen and Joe Madureira, if that makes sense.
I know who you like already, so it's really Stuart.
So it's got great art, and the way Robert Kirkman writes it is he always has these what the fuck moments, like with Walking Dead, and he likes to have extreme violence in this book, even though it's at first glance you will think it's regular superhero fare,
but it's not.
You have people with their heads being caved in or limbs being torn off. You've got children being murdered by aliens and stuff. It's a crazy book, and a lot of shit has happened in it's like at 135 now or something. But around issue 80 or 90, I think, a major character, I'm not going to specify the gender even, a major character gets their legs torn off. And the art in that, it's a disturbing scene, but the art is just amazing. Ryan Otley does a really good job illustrating it. The problem with the art being so good is that somebody on Facebook shared that page.
Wow.
Admiring the art.
Today?
Yeah, admiring. I'm sorry?
This was today?
No. Like last year.
All right.
A year ago. So this person shared this page before I got to read the issue.
But did this person follow Invincible religiously? Was this person a fan?
So.
Or just a fan of Ryan Otley?
I'm sorry?
Or was this person just a fan of Ryan Otley and his art?
I would guess that he actually also reads Invincible because, the cover of that particular issue didn't even indicate that scene was going to happen. And that character is not even on the cover of that book. It was a surprise. So, in order to gain access to that kind of information, he must have been reading regularly. In any case, this is a splash page too. He posts the splash page on Facebook. And I understand that not everybody reads this book. Not everybody reads Image. But the precious few that do got spoiled. And here's the thing. The people who read Invincible don't read it out of habit. They read it because they love it.
Yep.
It's not like a Superman or a Spider-Man or a Witchblade where the fans will want to keep collecting because they want to complete a run. Invincible will end. So the people who are sticking with it, they really love that series. And this guy just
puts the splash page.
He shared publicly a large image of one of the most key moments of the entire series.
Wow.
And
okay, I'm gonna read Invincible now, the books that I have, and I'll ask you. Okay, was it this page?
Yeah. Okay. It's around
80.
It's around in the 80s or 90s, somewhere there.
Okay. Man, I feel for you. Okay. Like, I'm also curious, did the TK guys ever spoil... Did you ever have a spoiler game? Or did you ever spoil anyone?
We have spoiled each other, sometimes accidentally, sometimes on purpose, several times over the 11 plus years that we've known each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we do it out of spite because we love each other and we know that we would never do it publicly. But, for instance, Alex spoiled me. This was accidentally. Alex spoiled me regarding an Immortal Iron Fist reveal back in the Brubaker Fraction run. He spoiled EJ regarding. we're just laying out spoilers all over the place. He spoiled EJ regarding Brubaker's Daredevil being secretly Iron Fist.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of that shit, and most of the time it's just it's accidental. Because we'll be like, oh shit, this happened, and then we won't realize that the other guy hasn't read it yet.
Jeez.
It's a lot of that.
I have a group with Jason Inocencio and Jonathan Lansang, and we were talking about not spoiling one another. Because if you, let's say, dude, if you spoil me here, I will literally unfriend you. And may kasunduan na, basically. Like, we've made an agreement that, okay, always a question, guys, have you seen this? Have you read this? Ganyan. Warning parate.
Yeah.
Yun. And then no more spoilers out of spite or anything.
Yeah, that's the considerate way to
Yep.
get into it, right?
And here's another experience. I was about to watch a press screening for Spider-Man Homecoming. I was a +1 of my editor-in-chief brother. And we were group 3. We didn't know that there were 3 groups. So when we were about to enter, a bunch of Spider-Man cosplayers, they were given a screening, so they were group 2. One of the guys went on IG Live. Hey guys, we just watched Spider... And then, kilala ko tong guy na to. Jason warned me about this guy. So I put my fingers on my ears and go la 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 la. I'm not listening. I don't care how I look, if I look stupid or anything, but I'm not gonna listen to spoilers.
Do you have any idea what he ended up spoiling?
I don't. I heard that he didn't really spoil anyone. He just gave a review of, oh, it was great, blah blah blah, and all that. And here's the thing with movies: when you're about to enter a movie theater, and the previous screening will go out, and then there will be people talking about it. Like, I hate that. Like, can you talk about it when you're in the car or something?
Exactly. Well, I guess they don't mean to do that, and they're excited about what they just experienced. That's like the minor offense.
There's a difference with not meaning it, but also being courteous and considerate in public. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can avoid spoiling anyone, then just avoid it.
Can you imagine if you're still in line to see the first Avengers movie, and then a friend of yours walks out with a big smile on his face, yelling, "Oh yeah, Thanos, yeah!"
Wait,
I'd be so pissed off.
So there's this poser after Avengers. Sabi, oh, para si Doctor Doom yun, di ba? Parang, oh my God. Ang galing si Doctor Doom.
I'm trying to think of something I just got spoiled about recently. I guess you don't watch Game of Thrones, right?
No, I actually started watching just season 7, and just based on the knowledge.
You understood nothing.
Like, who's this guy and who's that guy? And, but I did get into it when I think it was episode 6, where they went on the Suicide Squad mission, beyond the wall and all that. I thought it was pretty intense. Like, holy shit! They're all gonna die. How are they gonna get out of this? And ayun, I thought it was. That's when I realized. Okay,
enough to want to check it out.
Okay, so I get it. I get it why people like this this stories. And I was asking my friend of mine who sent it was the leaked episode. I was like, wait, there's zombies in Game of Thrones? Di ko alam yun.
Right.
Like, wow. And then they're like, fire sabers? Okay. Okay, I think I can get into it. Although, there weren't any nude scenes, which Game of Thrones is quite known for. So, it's like, okay, where are the boobs, man?
That's right. If you're new, and I know you are, this season has the least nudity in it and the most special effects stuff.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Early seasons has more nudity, and you hardly see the zombies, and you hardly see the dragons.
Okay.
So they've been building up to this for a while now.
Yeah, one of my good friends, Mark, was saying, dude, you have to watch it from the beginning because season 7, ang daming payoff. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Too late. I kind of saw season 7 already, bits and pieces of it.
So you also saw the last episode of season 7?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man.
Why?
You spoiled yourself there. You spoiled yourself really hard.
It's alright. I was kind of shipping them, like, so I was asking the hardcore friends of mine, like, okay, Jon Snow and Khaleesi, are they gonna get together? Blah, blah. And then my cousin from the States, yo, dude, it will happen, just wait. And he was right. Yep.
Right.
Anyway, I wanted to ask
you
you also,
to go back?
Would you rather see fake news or a spoiler?
Huh. I would say fake news, because at least there's some effort put into that. You know?
You're right. Yeah.
Like, there's some creative juices were flowing to create that bit of fake news.
So
spoilers are just...
It's still a story for you.
Yeah, exactly. I bring up Game of Thrones because I was spoiled. Somebody spoiled episode 6 for me, or this season.
The Suicide
And-
Squad episode.
Yeah, the Magnificent Seven, I guess.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit! I hope this guy doesn't die. He went out onto the past the wall with Jon Snow's group. I hope this guy doesn't die. I really like that character. And then the guy I was talking to said, "Don't worry, he doesn't die." And I was like, "Thanks, dude."
That's still a spoiler.
Exactly. These are people who, I guess, they don't necessarily understand plot, nuances of plot,
Or logic.
and they don't know exactly. Like telling me what doesn't happen also spoils the story for me. So
Yes.
you're still robbing me of an experience there.
Yeah, but I think 2015, the Han Solo was the spoiler of the year, I think. Last year, I think the spoiler was, the Death Star's plans get stolen.
Is it always Star Wars related? Probably
No.
not.
This
Not
year, I think it was the Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Last year,
That's
I
fair.
can't remember. Like, what were the movies last year? Series.
Oh man, there's a lot.
Was it Hodor?
There's a lot.
Was the Hodor last year? I think it was last
so.
year.
That's actually, yeah.
I think that
That's
was
a
the
good
one.
point.
That was the spoiler of the year. Yeah, so anyway, we don't want to spoil everyone with a long podcast, but, final thoughts, Mr. Amor, on spoilers in general. Like, what can you say to those who love to spoil, or not really spoil, but they just want to spread some news?
Is it really news? I mean, well, if you're crafting a article title or a headline to attract people to a website, or let's say even just a post that you're making, decide what kind of website you're really running. I guess are you running a spoiler site or a news site? Think about your audience. I'm talking specifically about geek news sites, I guess. Think about your audience. If they love stories as much as you do, or if you love stories as much as you think they do, respect the creators and respect the experience itself. Respect the story, and never assume that you can deliver a story better than the writers of the story. Let the consumers read the story for themselves.
Preach.
It's not your job to tell them what the story is.
Yep. Cool. I think that's well
What about
said.
you?
Yeah, I live by the fact that if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it, man. Just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, or do unto others. Diba?
Consideration.
That's the way to go. I live by that. Like, do unto others what you want others to do to you. Anyway, so I haven't actually. I think the last podcast I did was with you also for the Eisner interview. It's been a while since.
It couldn't have been.
I think it was.
Wow.
Because I did more. I'm focusing on video now.
I noticed.
And I missed
noticed
this.
that.
I missed this. All right, so I'd like to thank Mr. John Amor for joining me in this sort of emergency podcast tonight regarding spoilers. And yeah, this has been Jiggy Cruz, and thanks for listening to the Geek Speak Podcast. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Later.